Hey guys, long time no see. So I haven't been posting a lot lately. I've been pretty depressed with everything going on. It's just a whirlwind. So forgive me, but this is kind of like my first video coming back on here in about a month. And I am really excited to start filming videos. We are leaving for our van trip in less than a month, about 3 weeks now. I've already put in my 2 weeks notice. We're getting there on the van and I'm so excited. Anyway, so this video is going to be about the medications I take. Yes, I do take medications for various reasons, and we're going to talk about that today. I am purely making this video for entertainment purposes with some information in it as well. I will only be stating facts that I know. However, I am a human. I make mistakes. There might be things I misspeak on. So I just want you to know, don't take everything I say as fully fact because I could mess up. And always do your own research, and more importantly, always talk to your doctor. This video is not telling you to take these medications. I'm simply giving the information I have and my experience on taking these medications. I want to make that very clear. I take two types of medication. I take levothyroxine for hypothyroidism, or some people call it Livoxyl. I've always just called it levothyroxine. This is used to treat hypothyroidism. It is in a class of medications called hormones. So this is a hormone medication. And then the second medication that I take is going to be Lexapro or escitalopram. This one I take for anxiety and depression. It is an SSRI, which we will get into. The first one I'd like to talk about is my anxiety medication because I think a lot of people will relate to this. I say my anxiety, it's depression and anxiety. I'll go back and forth. But yeah, so we'll first talk about the Lexapro. Lexapro is an SSRI. That's going to be selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So basically what that all means is that I don't have enough serotonin in my brain. So this basically puts serotonin in my brain. Is that the best way to describe that? That might be wrong, but you get the idea. It gives me serotonin. And I take 20 milligrams of this daily. It basically helps to restore the balance of the serotonin in your brain. So we all have serotonin in our brain, and sometimes people have not enough, like me, and that's why we might be depressed and anxious and just not good. So that is what it gives me, is happiness, basically. So it can treat a few different things. Some of the things that it treats for me is clinical depression, which is a mental health disorder where it's just basically persistent like sadness for long periods of time. Depression for me, it kind of goes in waves. That's the best way for me to describe it is, but it's definitely more depression than not, I would say. So I would say I'd go probably a month or two depressed and then maybe a week of happiness, if that kind of gives you an idea. Something else that it can treat is social anxiety, but I don't have social anxiety. I have more generalized anxiety. I get anxiety mainly about like time and things like that. Like a really good example is if I have a friend who is like, okay, and this has happened to me before, my friend Michaela, if she has to go to work at 5 and we're hanging out at 1:30, I freak out the whole time about like, is she going to be late for work? And when I used to work those shifts, I would also do the same thing for me. And it's just, we have time, but my brain thinks that we're always on the edge of like, cutting it real close, even though we're not. But I do definitely have a lot of anxiety. And if someone says, hey, we need to talk, I go through every single conversation we could possibly have. And then I feel fully prepared, even though I'm still super anxious about the conversation, and then it's never what I think it's going to be. So I just have this, I don't know, it's a lot. So social anxiety, and then a couple other things that it can treat is OCD, body dysmorphia disorder, or kleptomania, which I don't have any of those disorders. I just have the clinical depression and generalized anxiety that I have diagnosed right now. That's pretty much for my anxiety medication. I think it helps me out a lot, but I definitely don't think I'm getting as much out of it as I should. So I am really thinking about switching to a new medication. I have taken, in the past, I've taken Celexa, which, to give you kind of an idea, this is S-citalopram. Celexa was just citalopram. I don't really know what that means, but it tells me that I guess they're kind of similar. And they're both SSRIs, but I don't know. I just think I need something a little bit stronger. Is that the best way to put it? Anyway, so now we'll move on to my thyroid medication, which is levothyroxine or Levoxyl. I take 50 milligrams of this daily. I take both of my medications at the same time. So basically what this is going to do is treat hypothyroidism, which is something that I do have. It's a condition in which the thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid, which basically just makes you really lethargic, at least in my experience. It makes me pretty lethargic, makes my joints hurt. I just feel old and bleh. It can mess with your metabolism, make you have pretty slow metabolism. But when you take this medication, levothyroxine, it can replace the hormone that you normally produce by your thyroid gland, the one that for someone with hypothyroidism wouldn't produce as much. And it would basically give that hormone to it to regulate the body's energy and metabolism. So you'll be less tired, hopefully, and a lot less achy, and a normal amount of energy. Now, this has definitely helped me a lot. Again, not as much as I wish, but I am taking 50 milligrams, which is, that's a good amount. So this one I think helps a lot more. And it's very helpful to have medication. It is, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to have medication. But I know for a lot of people they can't get stuff like this, and that really sucks. And if you need these medications, if your doctor thinks you need them, and you should be able to get them. That's pretty much all the information that I have on the medications that I take personally. But for this last bit, I really just wanted to talk about how medication should be normalized. There's a lot of people who abuse medications and controlled substances just in general that make it really hard for people like me and other people similar to in this situation who need medication but can't get it because people have abused it, so it's really difficult. Now, this isn't a controlled substance, so it really wasn't that difficult for me to get these medications, but for someone who might need something like Adderall or maybe Ambien or things like that, and I don't take those medications, but if at one point I need to, there's a possibility it could be really difficult for me to get it because of the issues that we're facing today. Now, am I blaming that on the people who are taking the medications? No. Am I blaming it on the doctors? No. I'm not going to, make this political, but I do think that something is wrong, and we need to really focus on the patients and actually think about what they need. If you think that you might need medication, if any of the things I've said today resonates with you and you have spoken to your doctor and they have told you no, or you haven't spoken to your doctor because you're scared, tell them. And if your doctor doesn't agree with you, get a new doctor, because you deserve to be happy and healthy. And if you feel like this is going to make you happy and healthy, then you should go for it. And you need to take your health into consideration, not only your physical health, but your mental health. And if your doctor is like, ooh, I don't think that's a good idea, let's talk about it, that's great. But if your doctor says, no, I'm not going to give that to you, you need a new doctor. I just want to say that everyone deserves to get the medication that they need if they're not abusing it. So anyway, if you guys have any more questions about any of these medications, I can take a list of those and kind of make another video about them. But yeah, so we're pretty much done. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. And anyway, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.